Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Japan's ruling party LDP picks conservative nationalist Sanae Takaichi as its new leader, putting her on track to become the country's first woman prime minister. Trump warns Israel after Hamas agrees to release all hostages, thanks US allies for mediation efforts. Prime Minister Narendra Modi hails Donald Trump's Gaza peace plan as Hamas agrees to release Israeli hostages. Shubman Gill takes charge of Indian ODI team against Australia, replaces Rohit Sharma. Former Economic Security Minister of Japan, Sanae Takaichi, has been elected the first female president of the ruling Liberal Democratic Party on Saturday. The 64-year-old politician is famous as a hardline leader with focus on national defense and economic security. Once confirmed by the parliament, very highly likely, Takaichi will be the country's first woman prime minister and Japan's fifth leader in as many years. A vote is expected in Japan's parliament on October 15th to choose a prime minister to replace Shigeru Ishiba. It is believed that the party chose her to regain its lost trust from a public angered by rising prices and drawn to opposition groups. Takaichi too has taken a tough stance on immigration and foreign tourists, both of which emerged as key issues in the LDP leadership race. She also has been a vocal critique of China and its military build-up in the Asia-Pacific. Speaking on the occasion, Sanae Takaichi hailed a new era for Japan's ruling party after becoming its first female president on Saturday.
The most important thing is to unleash Japan's full potential and achieve economic growth. Without it, we cannot provide the necessary social welfare services or high-quality education. People's daily lives will not improve, and everyone will lose their sense of hope. That is why we will prioritize economic growth above all else.
DD India correspondent Paulami Burman tells us more. Paulami, what is the political road ahead for Sanae Takaichi after being elected the first female president of the ruling Liberal Democratic Party?
Sanae Takaichi has been elected as the leader of the ruling party of Japan, that is LDP, following the resignation of Japan's former Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba last month. This is also a historic moment for the ruling party, that is LDP, since it elected its first female leadership since its formation in 1955. Sanae Takaichi's term in office is going to be shorter than usual. The usual term is about 3 years. However, since Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba was in office for about a year, Sanae Takaichi will be in office for the next 2 years until September 2027. In Japan's parliamentary system, generally the leader of the ruling party is elected as the prime minister of the country. However, this time the run is not going to be an easy one, since the ruling party does not hold a majority in both houses of the parliament. So Sanae Takaichi is yet to face a formal election in the Diet, and we have to wait and watch what happens next.
All right, and is Japan ready for the first female prime minister? What will be the key challenges for the new PM?
Sanae Takaichi has already been elected as the first female leadership of the ruling party of Japan, that is LDP. The public support for female leadership is growing in the country, especially among the young voters in the nation. Japan, however, ranks 118 out of 146 nations in the 2025 Gender Gap Report, which is the lowest among the G7 nations. Just about 16% of the lower house lawmakers are women. If we see within the ruling party, that is LDP, it's only about 7% who are female. Besides this, there are several serious issues and challenges that Takaichi and her party will have to look into. Firstly, reuniting the already fragmented LDP. The party will also have to deal with issues like economic stagnation and the rising level of inflation, which is already affecting the Japanese households. The US-Japan relationships are is also an issue that has to be addressed soon under the Trump government. Despite being the first female leadership in the ruling party of Japan, Takaichi is not seen as a feminist leader. She might not. People think that she might not address issues or in favor for gender equality in the country.
All right, we leave it there. And US President Donald Trump has asked Israel to immediately stop bombing Gaza after Hamas agreed to release hostages and some other terms in US plan to end the conflict. However, troubling issues like disarmament appeared unresolved. Trump's peace plan, endorsed by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, demands Hamas's disarmament and excludes the group from Gaza's governance, proposing a technocratic body under Trump's oversight. Hamas has agreed to transfer power but seeks a role in Gaza's future. President Trump released a brief video on Truth Social pledging fair treatment for all parties in Gaza peace talks and hailing Hamas's hostage release agreement as a special day may be unprecedented.
How it all turns out, we have to get the final word down in concrete. Very importantly, I look forward to having the hostages come home to their parents and having some of the hostages. So I just want to let you know that this is a very special day, maybe unprecedented in many ways. It is unprecedented, but thank you all, and thank you all to those great countries that helped. We were given a tremendous amount of help. Everybody was unified in wanting this war to end and seeing peace in the Middle East. And we're very close to achieving that. Thank you all, and everybody will be treated fairly.
Meanwhile, Netanyahu's office has announced on Saturday that Israel is ready to implement the first phase of US President Donald Trump's peace plan to secure the release of Israeli hostages in Gaza, following Hamas's agreement to engage in peace talks. Qatar, Egypt and the United Nations hailed the move, and world leaders welcomed Hamas's agreement to parts of US President Trump's Gaza peace plan, urging a ceasefire, hostage release and humanitarian aid. The UN, UK, France, Germany, Italy, Australia and Turkey have praised the progress, along with Israel's opposition leader, who has also backed the negotiations. In a stunning diplomatic pivot, Colombian President Gustavo Petro, long a fierce critique of US President Donald Trump, expressed rare agreement Friday with Trump's Gaza peace plan, offering Colombian troops to enforce a ceasefire amid Hamas's hostage release pledge. Posting on X in Spanish, Petro demanded an end to the conflict in Gaza and proposed deploying Colombia's army alongside Trump's forces to halt Israeli operations and secure Palestinian territories. Global leaders welcomed the breakthrough, although Petro's call drew sharp US rebuke, including visa revocation threats. As mediators Qatar and Egypt accelerate negotiations, Petro's troop offer signal potential Latin American involvement in the nearly two-year conflict's resolution.
The bombing must stop. I agree with Trump, and I told him, if you need to send the United States Army there, I'll also send Colombia's army, and we'll fight together. Pride cannot be raised as flag when the flag of life comes first.
India has also voiced strong support for President Trump's Gaza peace plan, as Prime Minister Narendra Modi praised its progress in a post on X. Posted on X, PM Modi said, and I quote him, "We welcome President Trump's leadership as peace efforts in Gaza make decisive progress. Indications of the release of hostages mark a significant step forward. India will continue to strongly support all efforts towards a durable and just peace." In a major push for India's youth empowerment, Prime Minister Narendra Modi unveiled initiatives exceeding 62,000 crore rupees on Saturday at Vigyan Bhavan in New Delhi, focusing on skilling, education and entrepreneurship. Key launches include the Rs 60,000 crore PM Setu scheme to upgrade 1,000 industrial training institutes nationwide and 1,200 vocational labs in schools. Addressing the event, PM Modi said that the scheme will connect India's youth with the global skill demands.
पीएम सेतु योजना की शुरुआत की गई है। देश भर में हमारे 1000 से ज्यादा आईटीआई इंस्टीट्यूशंस को इसका फायदा होगा। पीएम सेतु योजना के माध्यम से इन आईटीआईज को अपग्रेड किया जाएगा। यहां नई मशीनें आएगी, आधुनिक मशीनें आएगी, इंडस्ट्री के ट्रेनिंग एक्सपर्ट यहां आएंगे। कारुकलम भी आज की और फ्यूचर की डिमांड के हिसाब से अपग्रेड होगा। एक तरह से पीएम सेतु योजना दुनिया की स्किल डिमांड से भी भारत के युवाओं को जोड़ेगी।
PM Modi also laid foundation stones for PM Usha facilities at 4 Bihar universities worth Rs 160 crore, benefiting 27,000 students. The NIT Patna's Bita campus was also dedicated along with the distribution of 4,000 Bihar government job letters and the release of Rs 450 crore scholarships to 25 lakh students via DBT. PM Modi also addressed the poor scenarios of Bihar education system that existed 2 decades ago. Praising Chief Minister Nitish Kumar, PM Modi said that Kumar, with the entire NDA team, brought the deteriorating system back on track.
इस पीढ़ी को उतना अंदाजा नहीं होगा कि 2-2.5 दशक पहले बिहार में शिक्षा व्यवस्था किस तरह तबाह थी। ईमानदारी से न स्कूल खुलते थे, न भर्तियां होती थी। कौन माँ बाप नहीं चाहता कि उसका बच्चा यहीं पढ़े और यहीं आगे बढ़े, लेकिन मजबूरी में लाखों बच्चों को बिहार छोड़कर बनारस, दिल्ली, मुंबई जाना पड़ा। यही पलायन की असली शुरुआत थी। सौभाग्य से बिहार के लोगों ने नीतीश जी को सरकार का दायित्व सौंपा और हम भी सभी साक्षी हैं कि कैसे एनडीए की पूरी टीम मिलकर बिगड़ी हुई व्यवस्थाओं को फिर पटरी पर लाई।
Operation Sarp Vinash was an extremely important military operation of the Indian Army against terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir. Conducted in 2003 to neutralize a concentration of Pakistan-sponsored foreign tourists in a jungle lair in the Pir Panjal mountains. The operation was conducted under the command of Lieutenant General Lidder, who has penned these thoughts. At a book launch in Delhi on Saturday, DD India correspondent Vishal Beristo caught up with the writers of the book, Lieutenant General H.S. Lidder and Jayashree Lakshmikant.
Decades, this book has come out, Operation Sarp Vinash, and the writer General Lidder and the co-writer Jayashree. Sir, it's been 2 decades now, and now the book is out. So how do you feel?
I feel it was necessary to publish the account of Sarp Vinash 1, which is this book, because there's been, every time there is an incident in J&K, the public is talking of Sarp Vinash 2.
Jayashree, the problem still exists.
Tell me, you surely know that Indian Army has conducted countless counterinsurgency operations. Then why is it that every time there is an incident in Rajouri or Poonch, people refer to Operation Sarp Vinash and say that, there should be a Sarp Vinash 2.0? Certainly, there was something great about Operation Sarp Vinash.
Well, absolutely, that's an achievement. So you've said that one who controls the banyan tree controls the insurgency. And the title itself is quite interesting, Sarp Vinash.
I had carried out the planning and presented the plan to the Army Commander General Nanavati. He asked me, what are you going to call this operation? So I told him, sir, operation will be called Operation Sarp Vinash. Because these people are like snakes, they get into the bill and it is our duty to fish them out from there and finish them.
And what's the secret about that banyan tree?
Banyan tree is my life's learning. I've been to all the counterinsurgency areas that India has fought, Sri Lanka, J&K twice, and Assam. What I understood from these operations is that if you don't, it's all about the people.
So there you hear General Leader, he says that it is very important to keep the operation on. With cameraman Kalrai, Delhi, this is Vishal Baristo for DD India.
And still to come on this edition of DD India Live. Intense negotiations are underway as situation remains volatile in POK following a massive protest. US government shutdown enters second week. Clinical India thrashed West Indies by an innings and 140 runs in the first test at Ahmedabad.
Whenever we think of scientists, farmers or shepherds protecting our environment, but the reality is quite different. Across the world, women have often done the quiet, hidden, silent work of protecting our planet.
We've also noticed that because we had a kind of a model farm where we grew multiple crops, farmers around have also started doing that.
In the beginning, it was frightening. I went door to door sharing the idea. I trusted in our sisterhood. Some agreed to work.
A generational change is very important for us because the mountain villages of the Apennines are suffering from strong outmigration and the population is aging.
The main objective of integrated waste management through this program is to recover voluntary donations from vendors that are still fit for human consumption and have nutritional value.
Jharkhand will mesmerize you with majestic nature, rich heritage and color.
You're watching DD India Live. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. The intense negotiations between the Jammu Kashmir Joint Awami Action Committee and a high-profile team from Islamabad came to result on midnight on Friday as both sides agreed on a draft with some minor amendments. The government has accepted 21 out of 38 demands from the protesters. Following this, demonstrations against the government will end, and for the next 3 days, the Awami Action Committee will hold mourning processions for those who died during the protests. Under the settlement, those responsible for violence and the deaths of protesters will face prosecution under anti-terrorism laws, and a judicial inquiry will be conducted. Meanwhile, shops and businesses were also affected in Muzaffarabad, POK, after several days of violent protests. Demonstrators waved flags and chanted slogans as they held small rallies in front of closed shops during a week of the unrest. Businesses, schools and transport went on strike in response to the protests and have been closed in large parts of the region for the past 4 days. The US government shutdown has entered its second week due to a stalemate in the Senate. Both Democratic and Republican proposals failed to reach the required 60-vote threshold, with the Republican-led proposal getting 54 votes and the Democrat-led proposal getting 45 votes. Friday's vote on a short-term fix was the last chance of the week to end the crisis, as session will now meet next week. If the shutdown stretches past Monday, it will become the fourth longest in the US history. The longest shutdown lasted 35 days in 2018-19 during Trump's first term in office. Meanwhile, both sides have continued to blame the other for the shutdown, with little sign of any progress in negotiations.
Republican leaders for months to sit down and talk with us. They've refused and barreled us into a shutdown. They thought they could bludgeon us and threaten us and scare us. It ain't working, because my caucus and Democrats are adamant that we must protect the health care of the American people. And so now, rather than working with us to end the pain Americans are feeling because of a shutdown, Republicans have instead, they've wasted a week, refused to talk, and exacerbated pain for America. Instead of trying to come to the table and negotiate with Democrats and reopen the government, The White House and fellow Republicans have vowed to make this a maximum pain shutdown, they call it. Unfortunately, the maximum pain falls on the American people, and the American people know it. They know it's not Democrats doing this maximum pain. It's Vogt and Trump and the Republicans.
Republicans are not behaving responsibly. They're not behaving in a serious manner. They don't want to reopen the government, and they certainly do not want to address the healthcare crisis that Republicans have created.
It all turns out we have to get the final word down and concrete. Very importantly, I look forward to having the hostages come home to their parents and having some of the hostages. So I just want to let you know that this is a very special day.
The recent drone sightings in Germany may very likely be a test to check the reactions of the authorities and their preparedness in case of a real attack, says Stefan Kraschanski, drone expert and CEO of drone company Aronia. He further mentioned that the cheaper costs of drones have turned them into safety risks with regards to civil and military contexts. He said the real question is how to detect and defeat them properly in future. Germany's Munich airport witnessed 2 shutdowns just recently after unidentified drone sightings that had left over 6,000 passengers in limbo.
Versions we are seeing over the last few weeks are basically a kind of a test how the authorities, especially police and also military, react to those kind of threats. Shooting down drones is one thing. I think there are other measures which might be even more appropriate. For example, the use of a jammer, which is able to stop the threat without shooting at it, because collateral damage is something which is heavily considerable, especially in urban areas.
Flights resumed progressively on Saturday at Munich airport, but delays were expected after a drone scare caused a second shutdown in as many days, affecting over 6,500 passengers. The airport website advised travelers to check with the airlines as it prepared for the restart 2 hours later than originally scheduled after the Friday evening closure. European aviation has repeatedly been thrown into chaos in recent weeks by drone sightings that some authorities have blamed on Russia. The Kremlin has denied any involvement. The first disruption on Thursday caused more than 30 flights to be cancelled there and left nearly 3,000 passengers stranded.
Well, we spent the night in the airport. We slept here. I think that the closing is valid. You know, we still have a war going on in Europe.
I mean, it's complicated. You can't shoot them down because you're overpopulated areas. You don't know who's using them. You don't know what they are. The last I read on the news about this was that there was an unconfirmed drone sighting. So it's not for us. It's for somebody else to decide, somebody who's aware of what needs to be done. For us, it's just try to navigate outside of drone issues.
Shubman Gill has been announced as Team India's new ODI captain, taking over from Rohit Sharma. The BCCI have announced the India squad for the upcoming 3-match ODI series against Australia Down Under, with Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli both featuring. Shreyas Iyer has been named as India's ODI vice-captain. The series starts from October 19. And here you have full squad, which is Shubman Gill captain, Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, Shreyas Iyer vice-captain, Akshar Patel, KL Rahul, Nitish Kumar Reddy, Washington Sundar, Kuldeep Yadav, Harshit Rana, Mohammad Siraj, Ashdeep Singh, Prasidh Krishna, Dhruv Jurel and Yashasvi Jaiswal. And my colleague Narayan Singh is joining us live with more. Hi Narayan, how do you see this decision by the board members?
Siddharth, if we talk about it was on expected line as our team management, the BCCI, the coach and the selectors were planning to have a single captain for all the 3 formats. As we know that Shubman Gill is already our test captain. He started his series with a 2-2 draw against England, and after that this West Indies series where today India won the first match by a big margin against West Indies. It is Shubman Gill's second series as a test captain. Now his appointment as ODI captain shows that the vision of the BCCI and the management is clear. They want a captain for all the three formats. Shubman Gill is also the vice captain in the T20 cricket. So it's looking like that they are focusing on the ODI World Cup that will take place in 2027 in South Africa, Zimbabwe. And so they are clear about that, and whether our veterans Rohit Sharma or Virat Kohli will be there in the 2027 World Cup. It is also not looking, we can say, the committal, because we know that the ODI cricket is played very less now these days. The focus is on the T20 cricket, and a lot of test cricket takes over the 5 days. So I don't think that they will go for the long run, especially the Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma. But all in all, we can say that the selectors, the BCCI, the management are looking for the future of the Indian cricket, and we know that the way right now there is a right mix of the youth and young in the team. And we know that Rohit Sharma, the way he has captained India, helped India to win the Champions Trophy, and also took India to the finals of the ODI World Cup, and also won the T20 World Cup for India. So all in all, we can say that it's the right time to change the guard of the Indian team, and hoping that Shubman Gill will continue the thing that he has done in the test format, drawing a series in England, and in his second assignment as a test captain, he won the first test match against West Indies. So we can say that against Australia, it will be his real test, how he performs in the ODI format, because if you take a look at the experience in the ODI format, in the shorter version of the game, is very less. He has captained the India A, in the list A cricket 5 times only. So hope he will do better. He will just control the things in a proper way, because we know that ODI format, the ODI World Cup, is in 2027, and the selector says that he wants some time to settle down before the 2027 World Cup.
All right, Narayan, we leave it there. Thank you so much. And that's all for this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms, and you can scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.